Hey guys, it's Tom. It is a Thursday night here in early February. And we have a SOMIFA semifinal championship game. It's going to be Dale Ripley's Minnesota Vikings, 10-6 regular season. The number 8 seed, I believe. 10-6 regular season, number 18, 8 seed. At the number 7 seed Houston Texans, also 10-6. As the SOMIFA postseason is down to the semifinals, you got 4 teams here. You have Minnesota at Houston tonight. Then you got Green Bay at Atlanta Sunday morning. I'll be calling that one as well. And it's been a surprising SOMIFA postseason. Upsets. 1 seed, 2 seed, and 3 seed gone. Defending champion Jay Villing gone. NFL had knocked out in the mini playoffs. And you got the 7 seed, the 8 seed, and the 11 seed. 7, 8, 3 of the final 4 teams are 7 seed or lower. 7, 8, and 11. And I would say a real surprise for at least 2 of those teams to be here, I would say. I think Nathan has got the only team left that coming into the postseason you might have felt might win the championship. I guess that might make him the favorite, but I don't think you want to be the favorite the way this playoffs have unfolded. But so it's going to be interesting here to see what happens. And this is going to be a really, really interesting matchup here tonight. Because Dale Ripley runs a 4-wide offense with Brian Hoyer quarterback and Jordan Howard running. And Paul's got a really good defense, but it's a 4-3 defense that goes like 6-6-5 or something at linebacker, a lot of pass rush, but a weak secondary. So that'll be interesting on that side of the ball. That's the matchup I'm really looking forward to seeing. But here the Texans have the ball first. Dale likes to squib kick it, and the Texans have got the ball through 137. His first and 10. Short pass for Brandon Cooks. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Dale plays a 4-3 with weak inside defensive tackles. Drew Brees, the quarterback for the Texans. It's a dump ball for a short gain, that first down of 13 yards from Brees to Jason Witten. So just like that, the Texans are at the 50-yard line, midfield exactly. Paul runs a conventional blocking back, 1 halfback offense with Drew Brees at quarterback, Le'Veon Bell, the running back, Kyle Juszczyk, the excellent blocking back, 6'7", the best one to have probably in terms of all around. He can catch the flat pass. Brandon Marshall and Brandon Cooks, the receivers. Cooks, the better receiver this year. Jason Witten, the veteran tight end, of course. Paul's offensive line is weak. 0s and 4s, run blocking, 2s, 3s, and 4s, pass blocking. Dale plays a 4-3 defense that goes 5-4-4-5. So those defensive tackles weak against the run, and the linebacker crew goes 4-5-4. So he can be West Coasted. Let's see if Paul does that. He did that effectively, I think, to come from behind and win his previous game. I think that was come from behind. Short pass, Brandon Marshall, defense double teaming elsewhere. 1 blitz on for the 2nd time in a row for Minnesota, trying to get after this Texans offensive line. But Brees completes it on his own card on 7, 11 yards on the first down. Right, wrong, and double teamed for the future Hall of Famer. And Houston is at the Minnesota 39. Paul has, I believe, 3 Super Bowl championships in SOMIFA. And a couple of other appearances, probably. This team would be an unlikely champion, I would say. But Paul's a great coach, knows what he's doing. And he's done an excellent job getting this team where they are now. And it's hosting. The last time he had a 7 seed hosting the SOMIFA semifinal. That's unusual, certainly. Short pass, Jason Witten. This time, Dale's flooding looking pass after leaving it open a couple of times in a row. Good move there. Does have a blitz on the outside from the linebacker 4. And Paul gets a dump ball for a loss of 1 to Le'Veon Bell. Sets up 2nd and 11. That was a 2 on a 13 sack. 1-90 sack. And it was a 94. So this is Cliff Averill over here. The right end 5-12-1. Pass rush could be a big issue here with Paul's weak offensive line. Dale's got a left end 5. The left tackle is 0, but the right tackle is a 5. So you might see a couple of sacks even without perhaps heavy blitzing or free safety blitzing, those types of things. And you might want to do some free safety blitzing if you're getting 3rd and long against this Texans offensive line. as I get a congratulatory message from Verizon for probably nothing. Emerald left to Le'Veon Bell, second 11. First time we're seeing him carry the ball here tonight on the Texans' opening possession. I think, yeah, no, he's a 6 and 8 short game somewhere. Defensive end +2 or +7, and Cliff Averill, the 5, cannot make the play. So they had the 1-90 sack, he couldn't get it. And now as a 5, he gives up a 7-yard gain, which was big. Now it's 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 7. Paul breaks containment. He's at the Minnesota 33. Might go for it on 4th and short, depending on how good his kicker is. Now, you think you might want to challenge these defensive tackle 4s. Paul's run blocking is so weak, though. The flat pass is appealing, I'm sure. The short pass has been what Paul's been going to. You're not likely to have 4 men there. Probably more likely to have 3 men. Maybe you get a dump off, maybe floods. And we're left Le'Veon Bell. Defense getting past, double teaming Kyle Juszczyk. Dale's playing mix and match here in the flats, trying not to make Paul comfortable about throwing to an empty zone. The pitch out to Le'Veon Bell renders all of that meaningless as he gets a 6-yard gain. He's 6 and 8 is a short gain on the end run, and perhaps on the linebacker as well. This is a little bit of an earlier start for weeknight than we usually have. No audience here tonight so far. I suspect we may have some trickling in around 8 o'clock or so Eastern over the next hour for the second half of this game. Flat pass right to Brandon Marshall. Now Paul throwing at an empty zone, although defense did guess pass. So Paul wants the defense's card here. Receiver guess right is incomplete. Boy, this Brandon Marshall card, a little shaky there. As he's near the end of his NFL career. 20 units. It's 22 units of completion, but you don't want that 3-2. So I subtract that, and you've got down to 20 units on a flat pass right. 2nd and 10 for the Texans. At that Minnesota 27. Short pass, Brandon Cooks. First time that Paul's looking for Cooks, but he is successfully double-teamed. 8 would have been incomplete anyway. They'll be doing a lot of double-teaming. That was the first one he guessed correctly. And Paul's been workmanlike with this offense this postseason. His kicker is Adam Vinatieri, 2-9 for the 23-32. 2-7 and 12 for the 33-37. So Paul may not fear the sack as much. Paul goes 3 wide, 1 fullback, taking away it all, and he thought of a run. Dale goes 3-2-6. Now here's where you might say, what about 3-3-5 safety blitz against his weak off pass blocking line? But no, Dale's going 3-2-6. I have not seen him do a lot of free safety blitzing. Short pass, Jared Cook. Successful double team of Cook. Actually, he's just assigned coverage. And the dump off is complete for 7 yards. Sets up a 4th down and 3. And the Texans will send Vinatieri out for the 37-yard field goal attempt. It's probably 2-10, I believe. No, it's bad. 2-9 looks like maybe a negative variable. He did hit the negative variable because I'm pretty sure that was 2-10 from inside the 22. Let me just check that out briefly. Paul's had some misfortune with field goal attempts this postseason. So, yes, it was a 5-yard negative on the field goal modification, pushing Vinatieri back and getting him into 2-9 range, not 2-10. So Paul misses the early scoring opportunity. And here's where it's going to get really interesting. And let me see what kind of pass blocking Paul has, Dale has. Long pass, Adam Thielen. Defense is double teaming elsewhere. Dump off complete for 7 yards on Brian Hoyer. As that time, Dale was going with the conventional blocking back offense. Now he comes out in the 4 wide. He must have misclicked on first down. But Paul's defense is 4-6-6-4 on the defensive line. And I think you'll see this left end come out for a 0 because Dale's not going to run too many runs, I think, from the 4 wide. Paul's got a real good pass rush. Dale's got a 7 at left guard, got a 4 at left tackle. The other guys are 5s. Paul's lived with pass rush and good linebackers. Paul goes nickel 4-2-5 here. He's got a weak secondary, got a 5 down in Thielen. Looking past Stephon Diggs. The safety's there. 2 blitzes on. And there's a short gain on Hoyer's card on the 3 right and wrong. 15-yard first down to Diggs. Now, we've seen everyone else go nickel 3-3-5 against Dale's 4 wide. This is the 3rd playoff game, I believe, for this team. Paul's going 4-2-5, keeping those defensive tackle 6s there. May make it hard to for Dale to run his usual line bucks with Jordan Howard and off tackles and have success. You got weak run blocking. Everyone's a 0 except the left guard, Ramon Foster. When you go to the multiple wide formation, and Paul's got defensive tackle 6s. Looking past Stephon Diggs, safety's up there. So Paul's going to let Dale. Picked off 2 to 5, 11 to 12, incomplete on the 8. Remember, Paul's home, so he's got the good pass defense cards instead of the average which Dale has. And the Super Bowl will be a neutral site, of course, but both teams will have the average pass defense. Now Paul goes 3-3-5 on 2nd and 10. I don't know if that's a first down, second down thing, or he's just going to play it by ear. Paul maybe is content to give Dale some long pass opportunities. Linebacker Jordan Howard, double box in play. This has been bread and butter here for this team. Defensive tackle 0 plus 13 yards. Fletcher Cox nerfed down to a 5 for the multi-wide formation, and Jordan Howard gets a 13-yard gain. Howard's been outstanding for Dale all season, end of the postseason. Dale with a big upset over Dennis Crowley's Seattle Seahawks by a field goal in the previous round of the playoffs. Look at Bass Amari Cooper. Defense has a safety 4 there. Cooper covered by a 4. Receiver gets right, 4 yards. So 4's all around there. You got 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings. We are halfway through the first quarter. Minnesota at the Houston 34. The Vikings opening possession after the Texans marched all the way down to the Houston 20. Had to settle for a field goal, but it was missed. It was 2-9 good because the variable pushed it back. Otherwise, it would have been 2-10, and it would have been good. It was a 10. 2nd down and 6. Paul goes nickel 3-3-5 again, which you would think he would do because he goes 5-6-6 at linebacker. It's going to be harder for Dale to get those flat passes going like he does against everyone else against this team. Looking past Stephon Diggs, guess right, 4-yard completion, 3rd and 2. With the white die 6 rule, flat pass versus a 6 linebacker, guessed right, world of difference versus a 5. I've looked at spreadsheets, as guys have known in recent years. You're averaging like low 3 yards per attempt, throwing a flat pass right at a 6. And normally you're going to be at least 5.5 yards attempt against the 5. I mean, so, you know, that's just a huge difference to me. 3rd and 2 for the Vikings at the Houston 30 now. Dale goes 4 wide again. Now this time, Paul goes back to the nickel 4-2-5. Wants to hurt the run, but Dale knows he can throw a looking pass at this 4 all day long. That's what he does. Paul senses it, so he blitzes the outside linebackers, hoping for a flat pass sack, but doesn't get it. He did get a D. 7-13 was a 1-22. And Hoyer easily gets the 6-yard completion. So that is one issue. And when Paul goes nickel 4-2-5 here, the best he can do in that looking zone is bring the safety 4 up. Unless he tries to double team someone, then you got to blitz a couple of guys. You only got a 1-in-5 shot at correct double team. You only have 1-5 defender out there with Adam Thielen. So that's a tough play because looking past right against a 4 safety is a good play for Dale with Hoyer and these receivers. 4 wide, 1 halfback. Paul goes nickel 3-3-5. Off tackle left to Jordan Howard, guessed wrong. Offensive onside tackle, only 1 yard. King Dunlap nerfed down to a 0. It was a white die 4. So this line goes 0-5-0-0-0. Sorry, goes 0-4-0-0-0 when Dale is in his vaunted 4 wide set. He goes to it again. 2nd and 9. Paul with the nickel 3-3-5. And why wouldn't you? 5-6-6-6. That's too many players. 5-6-6 is the linebacker crew for this team. Paul has not shown the safety blitz yet. I think Jordan Howard is a 0-5. Let's go right to Jordan Howard. Run key by Paul. His first run call of the game, and it's a key, not just a straight run call. Very ballsy. And he stuffs Howard for a loss of 1. That would have been a 6-yard gain, guessed right. And it was not a wide die 1. So in a pass call, that would have been a touchdown. So kudos to Paul. He's been guessing past the entire drive. 2nd and 9 out of nowhere from the 23. He does a run key and is successful. And it's not like Dale was even running Howard much today. That was only his 3rd carry here late in the first quarter, but still the first possession for the Vikings. Paul received the kick. So on 3rd and 10, we got 4 wide, 1 halfback, shotgun formation. Melvin Gordon, the 3rd and long back for this offense. I think he's a 0-0 or 0-2. 0-4, so not too bad. Thought you might see a safety blitz, but you don't. Flat pass left to Adam Thielen, throwing at a 6, covered by a 5. Very hard to get a first down here. And instead he gets a 4-yard gain. That was a white die 6. So there's the linebacker 6 making a huge difference on the play. That's a 30-yard gain. That's a touchdown, I think. Yes, 30-yard gain touchdown with no men. So if the linebacker had not been a 6, that would have been a touchdown. Instead, it's a 4-yard gain. Phil Dawson kicks the field goal. Not a very long field goal. I think a 37-yarder. It's 3-0 Minnesota. As Houston missed their field goal from around the 20, and Minnesota hit theirs. Squib kick down to the 15. No gain by Mike Tolbert on the return. I hope I have the right link here. Normally, guys do join these broadcasts for SOMIFA. It looks like it's there. But again, 7 o'clock start on the East Coast is unusual. 7:30, 8 o'clock. Maybe some stops for guys preparing for the draft. Off tackle left, Le'Veon Bell. Defense calls pass. Offensive onside guard +5 or 0. Patrick Omame makes the block. And, of course, if you're in the Central Time Zone or on the West Coast, you might just be getting home from work or still be working. So that would explain things as well. But there'll be a video of this afterwards. Of course, if you're hearing my voice, you're probably watching that video. So who am I talking to? 2nd and 5, looking past Le'Veon Bell. Defense calls run. 9-yard pickup and a first down from Breeze to Bell. Now, even though Paul's offensive line looks bad, end run left gets him an offensive onside end 6 and a blocking back 6, thanks to Juszczyk. So that might be why you see him over there at times. Also tougher for Dale to plug that because that right linebacker is covering Le'Veon Bell, who, of course, is a very good receiver. And as you say, that flat pass left to Le'Veon Bell, complete for 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. It's been flat pass, short pass, run, that type of game for Paul. Not looking for the big home run. Just looking to move the chains. And I think it's a good way to be in this matchup. Sooner or later, Paul will take a couple of shots down the field. Flat pass right, Jason Witten. Defense double teaming elsewhere. That's a 4 linebacker, 4-5-4 here. So a lot of appealing targets in the front 7 of this Viking defense to shoot at. As Breeze hits Witten for a first down. I mean, you got some flat pass right cards here with Witten and Le'Veon Bell that have completions up and down the card. You got Drew Brees, flat pass right, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. You got white die 6 rule in effect. 2 of the guys running 4s. He's got defensive tackle 4s, who's got to worry about the run. So there's a lot to do there. Flat pass left, Brandon Marshall throwing at the 4. Dale floods the other way. And double teams Kyle Juszczyk. It's complete for 7 yards. Texans up at their own 49 now. Breeze 8 of 10, 59 yards. When you see those 4-3 defenses but no 6s at linebacker, it could be a flat pass fiesta. And on left to Le'Veon Bell. Defense calls run, though. Could be a big loss in Paul's guard, but no. There's that offensive onside end +2 or -1. And when you're in the blocking back and you run it to your left, that player's blocking rating is going to come up on both their offensive onside end and on your blocking back readings. So Emmer left for Paul is by far his best blocking possibility on what's otherwise a weak offensive line. The running damage to the right is not too bad either, but that defensive end is also a 5. It's a 3rd and 1. There's a long pass, Brandon Cooks. No one covering, but he did get pass. So Paul picked a spot here for the Minnesota 49, but 5 is incomplete to Drew Brees' card. Sends a 4th and 1 at the Minnesota 49. Will Paul go for it or will he punt it? Paul's normally conservative, but this is not a bad spot to go for it with this matchup. He might just not be feeling he's going to go for it. And he goes full house. I guarantee you no draw play. For those of you who know who watched the last games, they're referring to that on a forum post. It's a Le'Veon Bell, Mike Tobin, and Theo Riddick. And, of course, Drew Brees. And this middle linebacker is a 5-4 against the run. So you might see a straight line book here. The right linebacker is a 40, though. So off tackle left. And the left linebacker is a 40. And the safety is a 54. So a lot of good options on the run here for Paul. Despite the weakness of his offensive line, I think I'd like to see it off tackle left. Linebook Theo Riddick, defense calls run. No linebackers there. Paul wants 4, 5, 6 to get him a first down. There it is. Center plus 12 or plus 4. Weston Richburg makes the block. It's a 12-yard pickup for Theo Riddick, his first carry of the day. First down and on a 4th down conversion for the Texans. We're early in the second quarter now, and they are at the Minnesota 37. Really nothing that Dale could have done there. Richburg was bumped up to a 5 anyway. There's a looking past Kyle Juszczyk. Nobody there. One double team on, one guy blitzing. So we'll be guessed correctly, but nobody there. Receiver gets right, 6 yards to Juszczyk. 2nd down and 4. And I've seen a lot of ball control here from both of these teams. Dale likes to throw flat passes with this team. Looking past to Juszczyk. Defense guesses pass. Linebacker 5 stayed home. That's Eric Kendricks. Wide die 6, 10 yards on the first down. Texans down to the Minnesota 21. It's their second time being down around this territory. Winner of this game makes the Super Bowl. Minnesota or Houston. Flat pass left, Le'Veon Bell. Defense guesses run. Flood to the other side. It's so hard when you have from these 4-3 defenses. Picked off 2 to 3 or plus 5, and it's a 5-yard completion from Brees to Bell. So hard. These 4-3 defenses that are just a little weak in the front 7 or don't really stand out in the front 7. It's so easy to West Coast these teams. Maybe if you had corner 6s, you'd feel more comfortable, or if they don't have the real stud linebackers. And like Paul runs it, flat pass left to Brandon Marshall. Again, the defense flooding the opposite side. Defender -3 or -1, a 3-yard stuff as Morris Claiborne, the former Dallas Cowboy, with the white die 4 against his 5 rating, pushes Marshall back, and that's going to hurt the Texans. But I was going to say Paul runs it, but he's got 5 6'6" linebackers. So you got at least 1 6 and certainly multiple 6s against the pass at linebacker. Then that 4-3 looks a lot stronger. Paul also with defensive tackle 6s. That's a very tough front. 3rd and 8. That's not the case here for the Vikings. But they've got 3rd and 8, and it looks like they're not going to show once again. I would like to see them. Jared Cooks is 0-0. Short pass Brandon Cooks, no blitz on at all. I don't know why you're putting this linebacker on the line of scrimmage. It shows a lack of knowledge of the rule there. And it's complete for 7 yards on a dump off, and that would have been a high linebacker. If you're in a nickel 3-3-5 and you put your middle linebacker in the linebacker column, it does not count again as blitzing. And Paul's only running back was Jared Cook, who's not a running back. He's a tight end. He couldn't carry the ball. So unless you ordered the 3rd and 8 linebacker to Drew Brees, which might have been a draw play anyway, that was not a good call for Dale at defense. 4th and 1 but the result was not a first down, but he may have cost himself a sack and a chance at a sack. Paul had the opportunity to go for it in 4th and 1, but he chose the short field goal, which is up and good. And we're tied at 3. Kick goes 8 yards deep in the end zone. Now, Dale likes to take it out here with Cordarrelle Patterson, but here he downs it. And I'm looking at the wrong team. I wanted to see what the Texans' opponent KR, looks like. 4 wide against the nickel 3-3-5. See, Paul's got the nose tackle 5s at linebackers 5-6-6. He's well equipped to slow down and to stop that linebacker off tackle and flat pass game, although Howard's capable of some very big runs. Off tackle left to Jordan Howard. From the 4 wide, offensive onside end, only a 2-yard gain. He's not going to make any blocks unless it's left guard 4. That's still the only block he can make from this formation. And Dale likes to go deep at times, but and Paul doesn't have a free safety 4. The Warriors quite not that good. Paul probably has to bring his safety up as much as other teams do when they have weak linebackers. So just standing around and guessing run and pass might end up being a good strategy this matchup on the early downs, first and second down. Flat pass right to Tyler Lockett. Paul gets his run this time. Dale throwing at the linebacker 5. Picked off 2 to 5, 11 and 12, incomplete. Second split interception on the flat pass from Dale. 2 to 5, 11 and 12. And now we have a 3rd down and 8. Paul has good pass rush, likes to bring the rush. Dale does not have the best pass blocking, only 1-7, a 4, and 3 5s. Dale's got the dangerous flat passing game. Paul deciding what he wants to do here. He will go with the straight nickel 3-3-5. Now, when Paul goes nickel 3-3-5, he has 2 tremendous blitzing outside linebackers, so it helps him to go to a 3-man line in potential blitzing situations because both high linebackers can have their readings come up. When you're in a 4-3, you blitz 2 linebackers, you can only reference one of the best of those 2 linebacker ratings, although you do get the bump from the second blitz, of course. 3rd down and 8. Short pass, Tyler Lockett, defense double teaming and blitzing those outside linebackers. A lot of good things for Paul here. Cancel. And receiver gets right is incomplete. So nice defense there by the Texans. I had a miserable time against him in the regular season. I had a pretty decent offense. I lost 17-3, and it wasn't really bad luck. He just shutting me down. So Shane Lecker comes on for a first punt of the game here early in the second quarter. A 53-yarder down to about the 20 for Jameson Crowder, who's dangerous. Snake Guys is a touchdown. 4 is plus 24, but 6 is a fair catch, as is 5. But you see 12 long gains. You get 2 touchdowns, 4 plus 24, 12 long gains, some other 8, 10, 11-yard returns. So Crowder should get some good returns tonight if Paul can continue to get some Minnesota punts. It was the first one here, as we said. And Paul's opponent kick return coverage is pretty decent. Short pass, Brandon Marshall being double teamed. And it's a dump off complete for 6 yards. Breeze is 14 of 17 for 90 yards. That is a modern passing line if we're ever going to see one. And we're about midway through the second quarter. This game moving breezily along. No pun intended. But that's because you're seeing, a lot of running and a lot of completed passes. And we're left Le'Veon Bell. Not a lot of punting. We've had 1 punt so far. 2nd and 4. And we're left wrong. There's Bell with the short gain on 8. 14 yards on the first down. 5 carries, 34 yards. Both of these teams have been passing a lot of flat passing. I'm making it hard for the other guy to feel comfortable calling run and defense. So we've had guest wrong running for Paul. But Paul did nail Dale with a good guest right call. Emma Wright, Le'Veon Bell, defense double teaming the back. I said the Emma Wright is also a good option for Paul with the blocking situation. But here it's the defensive end, -2 or +3. William blah, 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 blah. William Golston is a 5. Makes the play, 2nd and 12. He hate to lose 2 yards or 3 yards on a guest wrong call with nobody extra in the zone. But it happens. It happens on that end run. It happens on the flat pass when you get those dreaded defender readings. Flat pass right to Kyle Juszczyk, 2nd and 12, throwing at the 4. Wide die 6 in play. And 7 on Breeze card is 7 yards. Setting up a 3rd and 5 for the Texans up at their own 45. Just a very, Paul's a great coach. One of the on the short list of the coach/GM combos out there. Just a very straight up solid game he's going to call. Not going to do anything terribly crazy, but just a nice solid game. Just solid play calling. 3rd and 5 for Houston at their own 45. CJ Procise in as the receiving back. Short pass Quincy Enunwa, the third receiver, covered by a 4. 4 men in zone, no blitz on. Dump ball for Breeze, 7 yards and a first down. Hard to bring pressure in those 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 situations because or even 3rd and 7, because the flat pass no man is so strong. But this offensive line is not that great. The flat pass game is strong. I don't think you blitz there, but looking past to Jason Witten, defense double teaming elsewhere. He is not double teaming successfully, so he may want to go to flooding flats instead. Receiver gets right, 6 yards. And again, like I said, both of these teams like to flat pass a lot, mixing the run judiciously, although maybe even occasionally, because Breeze has 20 pass attempts here, 5:42 to go. But this is how you attack a week 4-3. 4-3 with 4s and 5s in the front 7. Flat pass left, Brandon Cooks. There's a successful double team. This could be very dangerous for Paul. 1 in 18 chance on a pick, but 6 on Breeze card is incomplete. Would have been a first down, so Dale getting the benefit there of the proper double team. Now, here's where Dale might get excited. 3rd and 4 at the Minnesota 42. I just got to double team correctly. Now I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to nail him with a run call on defense. Paul knows that. Look for a short pass here. Maybe Brandon Cooks again. Maybe Witten is maybe a safer target. Probably Witten or Le'Veon Bell, I think. Because if Dale does the double thinking, look at past Le'Veon Bell. Dale does call pass. Linebacker 5 there. Breeze so good with the flat pass right, and there it is, 5 yards on the first down. 3 to 7, 10 and 12 gets you 5 yards or more. 8 and 9 receiver. I mean, everything except for the interception split and snake eyes is 5 yards or more. And then you throw him with the white dice 6 rule on a non-6 linebacker, and you got Le'Veon Bell's a good receiver to get you at least a couple of yards, if not a first down. And that's why Houston is now at the Minnesota 37, 4:48 to go in the first half. Short pass Brandon Marshall. Defense blitzing, 1 linebacker, double teaming elsewhere. Sack is always a threat here. Intercepted 2 to 4, 11 and 12 or complete. It's complete for 12 yards and a first down. Dale saying, well, why couldn't I have double teamed the right guy? And had an interception here, or just put 4 men in the zone. But he's doubling because he wants to stop these flats. And even flooding their zone isn't always going to get the job done against a guy like Breeze. And you're going to flood the zone how often successfully? 1 out of 3, unless you're sharp with your guesses. Looking past Jason Witten on 2nd and 10. There's a 3-yard completion. Setting up, that was 1st and 10. Okay. So that was 1st and 10. My bad. So 2nd down and 7 now for the Texans. 3:36 to go in the first half. We've had only 1 punt. We've had 1 punt and no turnovers. And no turnovers on downs, and yet it's 3-3. Paul missed a field goal. We've had very lengthy drives. Long pass, Brandon Cooks being double teamed. Dump off still in play. 6 is a completed Breeze card. So Paul from just outside the 20 saying, I'm going to go deep, but if I hit it, it's a touchdown. Dale with the good defensive call on 3rd and 7. Dale has not free safety blitz. This team out. Paul's got CJ Procise. A 0-0. You got a weak pass blocking line here. I want to consider a safety blitz here. I know you're not going to bring in linebackers. You're worried about Breeze with a flat pass, so maybe not. But I don't know. I think I might. You risk a touchdown, but he's been killing you. But just holding the ball forever and converting every time. Has not seen a lot of 3rd and long. 3rd and 7 isn't the longest of long. In Strat, short pass Jared Cook. Successful double team by Dale, even better. So defender X is incomplete. And Paul's going to send Vinatieri out for a 39-yard attempt. He missed from around this range earlier. This will be 2 to 10 if there's no variable. Otherwise, 2 to 9. This one's up and good. And the Texans take a 6-3 lead. It's been an excellent game so far. Low scoring, but excellent. And Paul's going to kick it off. The kick goes down to the 3-yard line, and Cordell Patterson gets a chance to return it from in the field of play. And it's a 31-yard return, giving the Vikings 1st and 10 from their own 34, just outside of 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Minnesota will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Yeah, I think you'll see a Jordan Howard run here, maybe try to get one of those big gains. There's an off-tackle right for Jordan Howard. Defense calls pass. And it's a 3-yard gain for Howard. 2, 3, 6, 11, and 12 are your big gains, but he also has solid yardage otherwise. I know Q2's only a short gain, so, but still. I said big gain. And he's got some big runs with 3, 11, and 12. And he's also got some short gains on the card. Second down at 7. Howard have started off slowly, I think, in the previous game, but came on late. And this game, 5 for 18. Paul well equipped to shut down Howard, though. The way that Dale uses him. Off tackle left to Jordan Howard. Defense gets his pass. There's a 5-yard pickup for the NFL Chicago Bear. And Dale will decide what to do with the clock here. Facing a 3rd and 2, he may let it run or he may go hurry up. Something gets it down more to this 137, 130 range. He goes hurry up, stays 4 wide. I think we all think he's going to run it, but do you dare call run? Pull with the 5-6-6 linebacking crew. But you only need 2 yards, so you can throw flat if you'd like. Dale taking his time with this play call. Wants to think about it. It's a big spot. We got off second right for Howard. Defense double teaming Amari Cooper. Wide die, of course, in effect, but Howard's pretty good guess right. Very good guess right. Dreaded 5, guess wrong, no gain. 4th and 2 for Dale, his own 42. Trail 6-3, 137 to go. Paul's offense has not been explosive, but he has some capability for that. Will Dale punt it or will he go for it? He'll punt it, which I think is the right move. You're getting the ball back to start the 3rd quarter. As long as Paul doesn't score a touchdown here in the last minute, you don't feel too badly. They got to punt it to Crowder, though. So you're going to go coffin corner. He does go coffin corner. And what a coffin corner it is. Snake Eyes would have been 62 yards. Instead, it's 57 yards down to 1 yard line. Oh, Nelly. Cannot do a good Keith Jackson impersonation, so I'll just use his remark there. So Paul's got 1st and 10 from his own 1 yard line here. A minute to go in the first half. He's got all 3 timeouts. Looking past Brandon Marshall. 2 linebackers there. Defense guesses correctly. Dale says 4-5-6. Come on, baby. But receiver gets right. 7 yards. Now, if Minnesota can force a punt, they will have a chance to get into field goal range. Paul's going to let the clock run, it looks like, as will Dale. Le'Veon Bell in there, the blocking back 1, halfback set, 2nd down and 3. 30 seconds to go in the half. Paul's at his own 8 yard line. Dale kind of daring him to throw deep with a straight 4-3. You don't you don't want to dare Paul too much. Everyone left Le'Veon Bell. There's a linebacker in zone. So Dale needs his card. A negative result here, and Dale will probably call timeout. But it's a short gain on Bell's card, 12 yards. 1st down, Texans up at the 20. Paul will probably call timeout here. See if he can finagle his way down to about the 40. Looks like he's going to let it run, actually. No, of course not. Paul calls timeout. I think we said Vinatieri. Maybe he's at the 37. Is it 2-7 and 12? 33-37. So you need 43 yards. Get 2 timeouts. 15-8-1. You need 43 yards in 3 plays. Where am I going to get my 43 yards? A bomb and a flat? You're worried about throwing a bomb here and getting picked off? I throw a flat at one of these 4s. I'll take a 16-yarder, a 20-yarder, a 30-yarder, something like that. On a favorable white die 6. Yeah, I'm going to flat pass to Procise, maybe at this 4 here, who might double team one of these outside receivers. He's got 2 timeouts to give risk to looking. But Dale's been conservative. Flat pass, there it is. Flat pass right to Procise. Nobody there. It's going to be guessed wrong. So you can easily get a 1st down. Oh, receiver gets wrong, incomplete. Procise had everything except 7. And some excellent yardage. Look at this, 16 and 15, 8 and 9. So that's going to make Paul's job a lot more difficult. 43 yards to go in with 2 plays to try a long field goal. Doesn't want to risk the interception. That would give Dale a field goal opportunity. Might not be going deep. Dale goes nickel 3-3-5 now. Could run the old line book at the nose tackle 0. Try and get a nose tackle +8 or +35. I don't know how far Forsyth can run. 30 carries, 5.7 average. I don't know if he's unlimited in this half. Should pass Jamison Crowder. Only 3 men there. Crowder covered by 4, so Paul can defend a long gain here. Gets a 10-yard completion. And he'll call his second timeout. And there it is. And we've got 33 yards to field goal range. And this is the last play before potential field goal. Paul's got 2 plays. The second one needs to be either a field goal attempt or a touchdown. So this is where you throw your long pass if it gets picked off. Well, if you want to risk it, you can throw a long pass here. It goes look into Forsyth. Look for a 30-yard gain on a 12 or a 2 as a long gain, of course, on the defense. Nobody there. It's totally gets wrong. On Forsyth's own card, 23 is the only longest. Receiver is complete for 15 yards up to the 45. This would be a 72-yard field goal attempt, which I don't think the game will allow it to try. So, Hail Mary time. Last play of the first half. Paul's leading 6-3. But a very well-played, solid game for an appearance in the SOMIFA Super Bowl. Minnesota or Houston, these teams were not projected to go this far by the so-called experts. Both of them lost in the divisional round. Good experting right there. I'll try to find those season previews. Speaking of which, I should be doing an SSFA season preview coming up soon. I've stepped away from SOMIFA. I gave up my SOMIFA team. I just had too much Strat on my plate. Sometimes with me, less is more, and I really am into SOMIFA and SSFA, and I like doing all the extracurricular stuff for those leagues. And I just rather be very involved in those leagues rather than stretch myself thin. And I like all the extracurricular stuff in the gym more than the games, more than playing the games a lot of the times. To be down one fewer league is enough games for me. I'll probably play Summer Sprint this year with Dennis as I played last year. So both guys checking out who can go 55 yards or more. I like one of the optional proposals, one of the foreign people made, maybe the last 30 seconds of the half to get rid of the dot limitation for wide receivers anyway. Long pass Jamison Crowder. Defense double teaming other guys. There are 2 linebackers back there. Paul get a long in and Breeze's card. A slim chance of it. 1 in 18 or so when you factor in both cards, but there's a chance. But there, it's picked off the defense's card. So Dale's got a chance to run it back on the last play of the half, but does not go far. As Nevin Lawson, the Detroit Lion from the NFL, returned interception 4 yards. It's a turnover, but it's on, it's the last play of the half, Hail Mary. And we have a 6-3 half in this semifinal. It's been an excellent game. Excellent game. No one's penetrated. Paul reached like the 12 or the 11 before he settled for his last field goal. But that was after like 3rd and 9, getting an 8-yard completion or something on a dump off. So, I mean, the teams have moved the ball up and down the field. Paul missed the 1 field goal, but they have not really threatened the end zone. We have a touchback to start the second half. Well, Minnesota's looking at 63 yards offense. I didn't realize that. Houston's got 218. So I guess Houston's been moving the ball up and down the field. But I think so. Only a few possessions that half for each team. All right, so the Vikings trail 6-3. Flat pass left, Stephon Diggs. Defense calling run. Linebacker 6 there. We've already seen the white tie 6 negated by Paul's linebacker 6 early in the game. Picked off 2 or 12. So it's a +1 completion from Hoyer to Stefan Diggs. Minnesota had the big upset. Minnesota beat the Giants handily 31-9 in the wild card round. Then the big upset in Seattle 27-24. Texans beat the Colts 27-17 in Houston in the wild card round, and then upset the Chargers 27-9 in San Diego, getting a lot of favorable results that game, but also, of course, coaching very well, which is what you expect from Paul. Looking past to Jordan Howard, throwing at the 6 again. Paul going nickel 3-3-5. He's found what he wants to do against this team. And there you see it again. White die 6 against the linebacker 6. Deion Buchanan. With only a 1 yard completion. That's a 9 yard gain against anyone else. Because of the white die 6. That's the first down. His linebacker 6s are no joke with the flat pass right. You are not going to find a lot of offense. You're not going to make a living throwing at those guys. And Paul right now is standing around at a nickel 3-3-5 saying, you're not going to throw flat and kill me. My nose tackle's a 5. You want to throw down the field with Howard, you're going to throw short pass, 4 men into a good pass defense, which he's doing now, but it's 3rd and long. Short pass of Amari Cooper. Single coverage, 4 men in zone. Receiver gets right, 14 yards on the first down. Now, the dump off, of course, will still be in play if Dale starts throwing short pass and saying this flat pass thing isn't working very well. He's been running with Howard a little, has not had a lot of success yet. Howard does have that big play capability, and this is still only a 6-3 game, even though Houston's dominating statistically. Linebacker Jordan Howard, double box in play. 7 on the offense, no gain. The white die 1 coming into effect. That white die 1, as I've mentioned in each of Dale's games, has not really hurt him a lot because Howard is solid against right. +3, +4, +5, +6. That's a solid card. That's only the white die 1. You're still going to guess wrong on the 2 and 3, and you're getting double box in play on the 8 on the defense. Snow tackle 5 hurts, as does the lack of run blocking. Second down and 10 for the Vikings. Big deal here to make the SOMIFA Super Bowl. Dale had never won a SOMIFA playoff game. He said to Dennis before this year, and now he's in the semifinal with 2 playoff victories. Long pass to Amari Cooper. Nobody there. Covered by a 4. Dump off good for 9 yards. So, I mean, Dale's got he knows what he's doing here. He's got a very reasoned approach. Got a running back who's good right and wrong, so I can live with the white die when it hits me. I've got 4 pretty good receivers, all of whom have some ability to go deep. I'm so good flat, it's hard for you to blitz me. Dale goes full house. Please don't run a draw play, Dale. I hope he heard the last broadcast. 3rd and 1 for Minnesota at the 50. If Dale can get dump offs down the field, of course, short pass, he can get things with Hoyer and the receivers, and the secondary is weak. He throws in the bomb occasionally and has had more success with it than maybe some people would think. It's a very interesting team, and he's handled them better than I could, certainly, on offense, better than anything anybody could. I'm not comfortable with those 3 wide, 4 wide things. Even though the math sometimes has to do it. Depends. Nathan and Dale are the guys that you want to see for that. And linebacker Melvin Gordon, 3rd and 1. Defense guesses run. Defensive tackles are a 6. It's a full-out situation. Defensive right tackle, -1 at +9. Fletcher clock. Cox is a 6. Paul going 4-3. That was a white die 5. So even if Dale had gone with his 4 wide, it would have been a loss of 1 if he had run inside. Now Dale's deciding what to do. It's 4th and 2 from his own 49. Early 3rd quarter, he trails 6-3. He's had trouble stopping Paul, but he's kept him out of the end zone. He's kept him from really threatening the end zone. So you have to think, let me punt here and maintain a game normal situation, especially with Paul's vaunted linebacker core, 5.66, and the inside runners. So Dale is going to punt. I think it's the right move. And it's a Crawford corner punt, another good one. Shane Leckler has been helpful with the Crawford corner punts here going inside the 10. So even though Paul has all this yardage, he's only had really 3 scoring opportunities. And each has been a field goal opportunity. He's made 2 and he missed 1. So 6-3. Let's see the Texans reel off another lengthy drive here. He's been killing Dale with the flat passing and the occasional run. Flat pass left, Le'Veon Bell. The looking pass zone is flooded. Receiver gets right, 5 yards. 1, 4, 8, 13, 19, 23 units of 5 yards or more on Le'Veon Bell's guess right card. And of course, 3 is a loss of 3. All the running backs and blocking backs lose yardage seemingly on 3 and 11. 11's only -1 at least. 2nd and 5 for the Texans at their own 13. Drew Brees 24 of 32 for 167 yards, showing you how dominant the flat pass has been. There's a correct double team on a flat pass to Le'Veon Bell. Flat pass interception possibility of play. Always a dangerous situation here. Receiver is incomplete. Kudos to Dale for the correct double team. Now he's got to stop Paul one more time here, 3rd and 5. I can't recall seeing a 3 and out for Paul or even Paul's punter in this game. And we're in the second half. It's only 6-3. And Dale says, can I get one good stop here? One good call here. 3rd and 5. I'd like to see Paul leave Le'Veon Bell in the game here because Dale's always going nickel with that nose tackle 0. More of a threat at the run. At least let Dale think about it. But Paul knows what he's doing. He's further than I am. Short pass, Brandon Cooks. Forming his own. Looking for a dump off or Breeze's card. Covered by 5. And instead, dump off almost intercepted, 2-4 incomplete. So there it is. Dale gets his defensive stop. He's rewarded for punting on a 4th and 2 from his own 49. Paul's got to punt it down from his own 13. Brady Rack and Pinion. Not the greatest net punter, I believe, in the set. I think Marcus Sherrells is back for the Vikings. A 46-yard punt. It is Sherrells from around his own 40. He's got a touchdown on 3. I don't know what the opponent PR is like. It's not great. Not awful. Maybe 8 and 10. Oh, no. And my game is not responding. How dare it? What a terrible time for it. Let's close this program and rejoin. Bear with me, folks. Spell it off. Did you guys crash? Question mark. Press enter key. If so, I need the new game number. Press enter key. Microphone off. Now you see them and I realize that I'm not there. Spell it on. 10243. Okay, looks like the game was continuing. So that was me crashing, not them. And we have the Vikings. So whatever happened in the department term was no big deal, apparently. And the Vikings have gained a few more yards down across midfield. They're at the Houston 47, midway through the 3rd quarter. Vikings trail 6-3, trying to take advantage of the good special teams play on the punting game and the good defense that forced Paul to a 3 and out to tie at this game or take the lead. They've had very little offense since early in the game. Off tackle left, Jordan Howard gets wrong. Trying to get one of those nice rolls on Howard's squad. 8 is plus 10 with the box. 20-yard gain for Howard. First down, 10 for the Vikings at the Houston 27. Minnesota back in business. I mean, they've been in business the whole time. It's only 6-3. It's been a great game. Howard now 9 carries, 43 yards. His best run of the day by far. And the Texans have got 1st and 10. The Vikings have got 1st and 10 at the Texans 27. Midway through the 3rd. 4 wide, 1 halfback. The formation du jour. We've seen Howard get hot and get like 2 or 3 good runs in a row in this postseason. Let's see if Dale goes for heat check. Linebacker Jordan Howard being run key for the end run. So double box is still in play. Gets an 8 on his own card, 4 yards. Nothing wrong with that. Howard now 10 for 47. See if he heats it up like he did in the late in his last playoff game, I believe, which was against Dennis. 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings at the Houston 23. Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, and Cordarrelle Patterson, the wide receivers. Tyler Lockett plays often as well. Patterson is in there sometimes. I'm not sure why he's preferred in some way. I don't really know his card. Except that Dale's a Vikings fan, so he likes all the Vikings. Off to go right to Jordan Howard. Defense run key in the end run. Dale does not run and runs. I know Paul's got 4s out there, but Dale has not run and runs with Howard if you watch his 2 games. And even if you probably look at his offensive tendencies or whatever from the regular season, I think he likes the linebacker off tackle. He wants to make sure he gets his 2, 3, 4 yards when he gets hit with a white die. 3rd and 4 for the Vikings, a big 3rd down. The Vikings want to march towards the end zone. What was that chant, Dennis? He's not here, but if he listens to the rebroadcast, we fight, we score, we want to win the game, something like that. From Ron Dickinson's Ron Brammer video 10 years ago. Linebacker Jordan Howard. Defense gets his pass. Offensive left guard +6 or +1. He makes the block. The only guy in the line who could make a block. Ramon Foster nerfed down to a 4. Makes the block 6 yards on a 1st down. Did that to me in the regular season. I got so angry. He did it like twice. Like they're all zeros. So he's only got a left guard 4. Made 2 blocks. But 1st down Vikings now at the Houston 15. Threatening the end zone. Remember, the Texans have a good pass defense. 2 to 7 and 12 picked off with 4 men. 2 to 5 and 12 maybe with 3 men. Or an incompletion. So Warrior doesn't have the picks on his own card, but they're there on the defense's card with 4 men in zone. And there's a good chance he'll have 4 men in zone inside the 20. You certainly have to consider that. I think Paul wants to call run here. I think Dale's is going to throw a looking pass or a short pass and say that maybe, well, I don't know. I'm with Jordan Howard. Pull again, run Keeney and run. He's not going to run there. I tell you that. And he gets a wide die rule, so it's only a 2-yard gain. Joe Golden, I'm just not looking at the strat for him. Wants me to play our SSFA game tonight. John Brook catching the SOMIFA semifinal. It's not happening, Captain, as Dennis likes to say. 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings at the Houston 13. Off tackle left to Howard. Paul just loves run, Keeney, and run. He's not going to run there. He's not going to run there. Offensive onside guard +5 is 0, no gain. I'll tell you one thing about doing these broadcasts. If you're playing a playoff game against a guy, you can go back and watch his earlier games. And I know Paul's got the 4s on the outside from the nickel. But Dale likes to run that linebacker off tackle, and he's doing it tonight. We've seen 4 or 5 keys. Maybe Paul just really fears the play, wants to make sure Dale doesn't run it, which I can see. I've done that before. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings at the Houston 13. Big 3rd down here. Vikings trail 6-3. They want to get in the end zone. They want to take the lead. But if he has to settle for the field goal attempt, he will. Paul not safety blitzing either. Doesn't mean he won't blitz one or more of these linebackers. A gutsy call would be like a flat pass left to Jordan Howard. Gutsy oftentimes a synonym for foolish. You're thinking maybe maybe wants to get some pass rush. Paul likes to get the pass rush going. He won't always safety blitz, but he will blitz the linebackers. Arakpo is 66-11. Oh, that left guard is a 7. So if Paul's going to bring 1, he's going to bring 2, so he can take advantage of that right guard 5. Linebacker Jordan Howard, no linebackers there. 7 or 8 of the defense would be in play. And it's a 6-yard gain that Howard's guard gets wrong. And actually, there was no containment. So that 6 or 8 short gain would have been nice. Look at that. +4 is 9 yards and 10 is 9 yards. They should have stayed in SOMIFA and drafted Howard. 4th and 2 for the Vikings. They're going to kick a field goal. 2-11. It's up and good. Phil Dawson went tied at 6. Late third quarter. Even though it's only 6-6, it's been a great game. It's not a turnover fest. It's been some good defense, some good ball control. 1 missed field goal. And here's the kickoff. A squib kick is fumbled. Loose ball to 31, but Paul recovers his own fumble. The squib kickoff to the 30-yard line. And Mike Tolbert, the upback, fumbled it, but Pharaoh Cooper. Nice draft pick there by Paul for a fall league, certainly. Johnny in the spot tried to advance the loose ball, but lost 1 yard. So the Texans have their own 30, 3:36 to go in the third quarter. 6-6. Winner makes this SOMIFA Super Bowl. Long pass, Brandon Marshall. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Marshall over by a 5. No men back there. And receiver gets right, incomplete on an 11. Marshall is a 9-15. You like to got to be at least 12-18. But Paul wants to keep that in Dale's head. Paul's been West Coasting it up. So he says, let me go over the top and see what happens. Short pass for Brandon Marshall. 3 men there. Now Dale leaves the free safety home. So the play call, even though incomplete, may have done part of its work there in making Dale less aggressive with the safety. You could open up that front 7 for the West Coast that Paul's been using all night. But on that play, we had a defender X. Morris Claiborne's a 5. This entire secondary is 5s. I think men that Dale traded for when people like me thought he was crazy for going for the year and trading for the year. And here he is in the semifinal. Maybe going to make the Super Bowl. How's that sound for crazy, Tom? 3rd and 10. Yeah, what are your draft position? 3rd and 10 for the Texans at their own 30. 3 minutes to go. Short pass, Jason Witten. Foreman there. Can the Vikings get another stop? No. 13-yard completion for Drew Brees. Right and wrong. You would have had to have the proper double team. I'd like to see some pressure on 3rd and 10 against this weak Houston Texan pass blocking line. That would have been a perfect spot for a free safety blitz. Perfect spot. Flat pass right, Kyle Juszczyk on 1st and 10. Maybe Dale wants to play bend but don't break. It's been working so far. Juszczyk has not seen a lot of action. Receiver gets right. Complete a 2-yard loss and a fumble. Minnesota recovers the flat pass fumble at the Houston 41. Will he try to advance it or just fall on it? It's always an adventure when you try to advance these fumbles. And he advances it and does well with it. Jamar Taylor advancing at 14 yards. So Paul had a 1st and 10 around his own 40. Flat pass receiver right to Kyle Juszczyk. -2 plus the dreaded receiver fumble. Jamar Taylor recovers for the Vikings, advances 14 yards to the Houston 27, and Minnesota, after trailing most of the game, has a chance to take the lead here late in the third quarter. That's the first meaningful turnover of the game. There was an interception on a Hail Mary. 1:48 to go. 6-6. Houston at the Minnesota to Houston 27. Linebook Jordan Howard. White die rule keeps him down to a 5-yard gain. Dale will take it. 2nd and 5. Vikings at the Houston 22. Skull. Only had one of those bullhorn sound effects. I missed the old sound effects. Maybe one day I'll work on getting some sound effects of the air up to production value. 2nd and 5 for the Vikings at the Houston 22. Flat pass right to Jordan Howard. Outside linebackers a 5. He hasn't thrown there in a while. White die 6, 10 yards. A good call by Dale. Through to the zone where the non-6 was. It had hardly thrown there at all tonight and picked a judicious time to do it. And that's what you want to do. Paul wasn't respecting it as much as he had earlier, and Dale made him pay. And now he's got 1st and 10 at the Houston 12. Watch out for the good pass defense. Watch out for the interception on 9. Dale's not throwing short pass down here, except for, I think, on a third and long. The Jordan Howard run has been his choice. Looking for that short gain. Paul knows it. Maybe will he guess run? Looking past Adam Keelan. Paul run king, but there's a linebacker 6. Vikings won Brian Hoyer's card, but he gets a 12 of the defense for 4 yards. That was a white die 4. Wouldn't have mattered, but a 4-yard pickup as we start the fourth quarter of a tie game, 6-6. Vikings-Texans to make the Super Bowl. 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings at the Houston 8-yard line following the receiver fumble recovery for Dale at the Houston 40. Return to the 27. Defense now showing blitz. Offense 4 wide, 1 halfback from inside the 10 against a good pass defense. I don't know about that. Short pass, Stephon Diggs. The safety blitz is on, and here comes the pass rush. Brian Hoyer is sacked by the veteran Julius Peppers, who it looks like he's in the game at defensive end. And a 4 against an 8 was a 1-39. That was not a safety blitz one. It was a regular chart one, if you know what I'm talking about. And Minnesota's got a 3rd and 15 from the Houston 17. Paul showing blitz again, even though the sniper scope 10 would mean a touchdown. Paul's doing probably the right thing here. Guy needs 15 yards. Or you can make the case to stay home, but all these receivers have good yardage. Sack pushes him back into weaker field goal range. I think Phil Dawson gets a little shakier outside of the 22. Plus the sack fumble is always a possibility. Paul did rush the passer heavily this year. Looking past Adam Thielen, all out blitz, nobody there. Wilby guessed right, but no men there. So Dale went to defensive card. Short gain, the defensive card, 14 yards, just short of the first down. Thielen tackled at the 3-yard line. 3rd and 15 short gain goes for 14 yards. And it's 4th and 1 Vikings, the Houston 3. 1 minute into the fourth quarter, tied at 6. Oh, Nelly. Let me tell you about Phil Dawson. Well, Dale tried to go for it against this stout Minnesota defense. So the middle linebackers are 0 against the run. Will he kick the field goal to make it 9-6? Decisions. Lawyer's salary. It's from an old commercial when I was a kid. I don't know what game that was from. It was a board game. He's going to kick the field goal. It's been a field goal game. Why not kick the field goal? Phil Dawson for the 20-yard attempt. It's up and good. Dale says, I don't come out of here empty-handed. 9-6. 13:48 to go. Short gain, 1 yard short, folks. There's another squib kick. This one goes to the 15. 11-yard return. We discussed this on the forum after Dale was squib kicking last time. And I guarantee you I'll be doing some squib kick research. Joe Golden wants to play tonight. I might have to do my squib kickoff research first, Joe. So that game may have to wait. Don't have my SSFA spreadsheets ready yet. I'd like to do the season preview first. And we're left Le'Veon Bell. Defense guessing pass, flooding the left flap, at which means the defense is left. Defensive end, +1 and +5. Again, Cliff Favre can't make the play, a 5-yard gain. As now we have someone in the studio audience. Is it Bradley Miller? It is Bradley Miller. 2nd down and 5. We're in the fourth quarter, Bradley. It is 9-6 Minnesota. Houston has the ball at their own 31. Texans missed an easy field goal in the second quarter. Otherwise, I guess it'd be 9-9. All other things being equal, but they rarely are. Left tackle left to Le'Veon Bell. Offensive onside tackle +8 or +3. Run blocking not a strength of this Texans team. Donovan Smith could not make the block. 3rd down and 2. There's an excellent West Coast team, and that's the way Paul's been running it all game. Winner makes the SOMIFA Super Bowl. Bradley, if you can, mute your own microphone. I hear the slight whistling noise in the background. Top middle of your Hangout window will have a mute microphone icon. You can unmute if you want to talk later on. Aaron right to Le'Veon Bell. 3rd and 2. Defense double teaming also defensive end +1 and +5. He's a 5. William Golston makes a tackle. A second big play for Golston in this game. 4th and 1. Texans at their own 35. Early fourth quarter. Paul will punt it, trailing 9-6. First time Paul has punted trailing in this game, I believe. Bradley Rack and Pinion going to punt it to Marcus Sherrills. My computer crashed on the last punt by Pinion. This is a 43-yarder that bounces quite favorably for the Texans. Makes a 46-yard net, and Marcus Sherrills cannot get his greedy hands on the football with that touchdown on 3. 1st and 10 Minnesota from their own 19. They'll give a lot of yardage in the first half, but the defense has shown up in the second half much more strongly. There's only 163 yards of offense, but we have most of the fourth quarter to go here. Jordan Howard starting to get it going. Flat pass Adam Thielen. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Dale throwing at the 6. Linebacker in zone. Only a 1-yard gain. That was a white die 4. Brian, this is such a flat pass game. Brian Hoyer 16 of 19, 106. Drew Brees averaging probably under 6 yards an attempt also, despite completing roughly 80% of his passes. 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. Maybe a Jordan Howard run here. Will Paul try and shut that down? Howard due for one of his big runs, one of his trademark big runs. Will we see that? Looking past Stefan Diggs. That throwing at the safety floor as Paul did some shifting. So this could help Dale. 10 is complete for 7 yards on Hoyer's caught 3rd and 2. Big third down here for the Vikings. Minnesota leads 9-6. Winner makes the Super Bowl. 10-12 to go. 3rd and 2 from their own 27. Stays in the 4 wide 1 halfback because that is what got him here. That's what's worked better tonight on 3rd and short as well. He went conventional and got stuffed. You only need 2 yards. You can throw at the linebacker 6s without it being, quote-unquote, a bad play. Paul's been run king on the end runs. Dale has been running end run with Howard the entire postseason. This is the 3rd game, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I'm going from memory. I'm excited. 3rd down and 2. Dale's plays in. Paul taking his time, figuring out what he wants to do here. Defensively, flat pass left, Stefan Diggs. Defense calls pass. Dale throwing at the 6. Complete for 4 yards on Hoyer's card. 1st down, Vikings at their own 31, a new set of downs. The clock not really a factor here, 9:36 to go. But if Dale would be happy with a lengthy drive, certainly. Field goal or touchdown keeps him in it, because if kicks a field goal and Paul came back with a touchdown, then Dale needs a field goal to win. Of course, now he's a long way from the end zone at his own 31. And his offense has struggled at times tonight, but he's really picked it up here in the second half. Of course, the touchdown would be earth-shattering for Dale. Flat pass right, Jordan Howard throwing at the 5. There's a 7-yard completion on Hoyer's card. Flat pass, flat pass, flat pass. That's what Dale's doing. And it's working right now. He's up at his own 38. 9 minutes to go. 9-6 lead. I hope you had the under. This is must-see TV, folks. It's Thursday night. Flat pass right, Adam Thielen. Defense run king, Jordan Howard, no one there. A chance for a big 10-plus yard gain for Dale that he has not had much of tonight, but only gets 8 on Hoyer's card on a 7. But it's the 1st down up at his own 46. And that clock may start coming into play if Dale gets another set of 1st downs, certainly. 8:24 to go in the ball game. Vikings 6, Texans 9. Minnesota never won a playoff game in about 4 or 5 years of SOMIFA play. Now that 1 win from the Super Bowl, 8:24 from the Super Bowl. Dale can smell it. Off tackle right, Jordan Howard. Defense gets his pass. Oh, he'd love that 12. And there it is. Box score 12, Jordan Howard. 46-yard gain, touchdown. The vintage Jordan Howard long run that we've seen all year from this team. And a little bit in the playoffs. When Dale needed it, late mid-4th quarter, already leading 9-6. Howard comes through. He's over 100 yards for the game. Extra point making 16-6. It's up and good. 16-6 Vikings. Skull. 8:06 to go. Dale Ripley, 8 minutes from the Super Bowl. Believe it or not. And the kick goes down to the 28 on the vaunted Minnesota squib. A 1-yard return for Brandon Cooks. And suddenly, this game that has never been more than a field goal apart is now a 10-point game. Minnesota leading, Houston trailing. Paul up against it, but he's been up against it many a day in his lifelong Strat football career. One pass, Brandon Marshall, 1st and 10. Defense gets the pass, 1 linebacker back there. Receiver gets right, incomplete. Only 7 and 10 on Marshall. It's only 9 units. Breeze has the card. The dump-off is in play. Breeze stats skewing a little uglier now. 26 of 39, 178, 0-1. No big plays for this offense all day, but they have marched the ball up and down the field. Short pass, Brandon Marshall. 3 men there. Dump-off in play. Breeze has been okay in the short pass right tonight. 3 of the defense is caught incomplete. The only thing that gives you no chance, although that was a white die 5. So the defender X was incomplete in 2 and 4 as well. And suddenly it's 3rd and 10. What's Paul going to do if he misses this? I think he'll punt it. Marcus Sherrell's waiting. 3 wide, 1 fullback. Dale goes down 3-2-6. Dale's played it fairly close to the vest on defense, so he's not going to show blitz now when Paul's desperate for a big play. Will he give him the look in? Will he blitz both outside guys here? So at least if that gets right on Breeze's card. You don't want to tempt Paul into a 4th and short. Go for it. You want to make him punt it. Maybe just bring up the 4 into looking. Let everyone else stand home. Stay at home. That could be the play. You don't want to double here. Look at past Jared Cooks. He is double because he even gets wrong. Because the linebacker leaving Cooks. That's what you did not want to do. But no, guess right. Double, no one there. Why was that guess right? Linebacker double team. I must have misread something there. I don't know. But it's a 5-yard pickup. Paul's going to punt it with only 6:36 to go. A 47-yard punt to Marcus Sherrills or Tyler Lockett. It's Tyler Lockett, the 2-back, from down around his own 20. A snake guy than him is plus 62. We saw that early in the preseason. Preseason. Who cares about that? Fair catch for Lockett. And the Minnesota Vikings are leading the Houston Texans 16-6 on the road for the second straight time against a legendary Strat football coach in Paul Mankiewicz. Just like last round, it was Dennis Crowley. And the Vikings up 16-6, 6:18 to go. What are they going to do with their offensive formation? 4 wide. That's how this team plays virtually every down. Flat pass left, Jordan Howard. Run key on. There is a linebacker 6 there. Paul needs his card. 10-yard first down for Hoyer. And it's 5:42 every first down. Hammers that nail just a little bit into the coffin. The Texans aren't dead yet, but they're in need of some assistance. 5:42 to go. This would be the unlikeliest SOMIFA Super Bowl appearance I can recall. Tremendous job by Dale. Linebook Jordan Howard. Only the nose tackle there. It's like the 69 Mets. +2, 2nd and 8. And the Mets were in last place like every year from their existence in 62. Before that, Dale was not like that. But unlikely. I think I picked it to be 5-11, as he reminded me of recently. Second down and 8 for the Vikings. From their own 31. Flat pass left, Adam Thielen. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Dale throwing at the 6. That 3 pick off 2 to 5, 11, and 12 is in play. The defense has come to good. Receiver gets right 9 yards and a first down. 19 units of flat pass right for Adam Thielen. 4:30 to go. Vikings 6, Texans 6. They are jumping for joy in the streets of Minnesota. Hopefully while wearing a jacket, because it gets a little chilly out there in February. 1st and 10 Vikings at their own 40, 4:30 to go. Dale Ripley can feel it. Can he make it happen? At this point, Paul would need, a punt is still dangerous because Jamison Crowder is back there. So if Dale ends up having to punt, Paul has a path. Or if that could left Jordan Howard, Minnesota, let me run the ball. Run this clock down. 8 on the defense's card, 10 yards plus the box, 20 yards for Howard. First down, Vikings at the Houston 40. Howard, 19 carries, 144 yards. I told you he started slow. I told you he came on last game. I asked him to do it again. He is doing it again. And the Vikings just inching closer to victory, closer to a Super Bowl berth, Dale. I know you are excited. I know you've been around for a few years in this league. The team's never been that great. 9-7, maybe 10-6, maybe 7-9. Never won a postseason game before this year. And he is 354 from the Super Bowl. NFL Ed, gone. Jay Villing, out the door. Yours truly, adios. Dennis Crowley, sayonara. But Dale Ripley, heading to the Super Bowl. Off tackle left, Jordan Howard, the run key. Guess right, no gain. You go, Dale. I'm looking forward to that. Call that 4 wide against all comers. Dale will change his form signature to just a 4 wide. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at the Houston 40, 3:18 to go. Will he just keep it on the ground? Because at this point, you're going to get a coffin corner punt. Maybe it's best. Just keep it on the ground, keep it on the ground, keep it on the ground. Flat pass right, Jordan Howard. Run key, nobody there. Guess wrong. 12 yards on Hoyer's card. First down, Vikings at the Houston 28. The feeling in the bars and the pool halls and the curling, what do you call it? The curling field. Someone get Nick Wolf on the phone. And the curling pitch, let's go with that for tonight. And the curling pitch is electric. The Vikings, Hoyer 23-26. Linebook Jordan Howard. Defense double teaming, double box in play. Double box is there for 17 yards. The first time tonight, double box. 21 carries, $161 for Jordan Howard. Give me back my SOMIFA team. I'm going to draft him. I gave him up. 2:06 to go. The Vikings at the Houston 11. 16-6, trying to punctuate this performance with a touchdown. A touchdown, and it is over. And it is close to over anyway, barring a turnover. And even then, a lot of miraculous things. Linebook Jordan Howard against the 4-3 this time. From the 4 wide. Offensive left guard, Ramon Porter says, not this time. Only a 1-yard gain, but Dale says, I don't care. Run that clock. 2-minute warning. Oh, Paul accidentally called timeout. That had to be an accident. It was going to be the 2-minute warning. Anyway, he wasted a timeout there. You got to watch out for that. But Paul may know the writing's on the wall. So, what, 2nd and 9 for the Vikings at the Houston 10. 2-minute warning. 4 wide. What other formation is there in the game? Linebook Jordan Howard from the short yardage against the 4 wide. As Paul went with a straight 4-3. 5-yard game for Howard gets right. 23 carries, $167. A touchdown. The big, what was it, a 46 or a 54-yard run in the 4th quarter? Shades of Marcus Allen or John Riggins. That was in the Super Bowl, but this is in the championship game. It's still a big deal. Semifinal. 3rd and 4 for the Vikings, equivalent to the NFL Conference Championships is what I mean. 3rd and 4 Vikings at the Houston 5-yard line. Texans down to 1 timeout. Full house backfield. No draw play inside the 10. Linebook Jordan Howard being run key. Dale says, I'm giving it to the guy who got me here. 2-yard loss for Howard. Dale says, that's all right. Jordan gets a big pat on the back as he jogs over to the sideline. And Phil Dawson comes on. 1:45 to go to try a field goal. They'll make it a 2-touchdown deficit for the Texans, who have only 1:45 to go and no timeouts remaining. And a squib kickoff to follow. The kick by Dawson is up and good. His 4th of the game. 19-6 Vikings. 1:37 to go. No timeouts remaining. Squib kick about to happen. It's down to the 25. No gain on the return by Brandon Marshall. And the Texans have only 90 seconds left. Look, Paul, great year. 10-6. Not one of his better teams. No offensive line. A weird defense. Tremendous job getting here. Paul's got all the experience, but Dale's been picking up his experience and learning and developing and growing. And now he's ready to start making his presence known on the SOMIFA stage. In the biggest SOMIFA stage, the Super Bowl. Short pass Brandon Cooks. Must run for 5 yards. Breeze can't get out of bounds. Ball needs 2 touchdowns. Spikes the ball. 3rd and 5. We got Jay Villing and Nathan in the audience now. You guys have missed a good one. 3rd and 5. Well, they've been here a little while, but it was an odd start time for a lot of people. 3rd and 5 for Paul at his own 30. He trails 19-6. Long pass, Brandon Cooks. 2 men back there, only 1:07 to play. Pulling these 2 touchdowns. He's a long gain, a breeze card right here. And he hits a long gain. That could be all the way to the end zone. It is a touchdown. Oh, my God. Long pass right. 2 men with no timeouts. A minute to go, down by 2 touchdowns. Long game, plus 73. 70-yard touchdown for Brandon Cooks. See, with 19-13, Paul has no timeouts left. Onside kick. This would be devastating. You will not leave the house for years if you lose this game this way. Paul's going to try the onside kick. Who's going to recover? I can't see. The Vikings have it. The Vikings have it. 19-13. They can run out the clock. Dale Ripley, believe it or not, in the Super Bowl with the 4 wide express. Brian Hoyer, Jordan Howard, Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, all the kids. And this team, 10-6, I think I picked them to go 5-11. I think I picked them to go 5-11, beat Joe Gold, an excellent coach, 30-9 in the wild card round. Upset Dennis Crowley, the best in the business, in Seattle, 27-24 with a fourth quarter comeback. And then tonight, just a strong all-around performance. Bend but don't break defense in the first half. Paul never really threatened the end zone, but was moving up and down the field. Had to settle for field goals. It was 6-6 or so. It was 6-6, 6-3 at halftime. And the second half, the Vikings took over. It was then 6-6, and they got the wide receiver fumble in Paul's territory. Turned that into a field goal to make it 9-6. The Minnesota defense played far better in the second half than they did in the first. And Jordan Howard had the explosive 54-yard run off tackle 12 boxcars to give Minnesota the big play it needed. 8:06 to go, put them up 16-6. They stopped the Vikings, drove again, a lot of flat passing, got a field goal, 19-6, then had a near heart attack when Paul, with a minute left and no timeouts, could put a 70-yard long gain touchdown from Drew Brees to Brandon Cooks to make it 19-13. But Paul could not recover the onside kick. Dale took a knee 3 times in a row, ended up almost evening Paul in yardage after being down like 2/3, after being outgained by about 150 yards in the first half. The yardage ended up even, and that was with Paul getting a 70-yard touchdown with a minute to go. So to show you that how the game changed there in the second half. And Jordan Howard, of course, your MVP here of this SOMIFA semifinal. 24 carries, 165 yards and a touchdown. The 54-yarder with 8:06 to go. To lead the way for the Minnesota Vikings to make the Super Bowl for the first time. Dale had no playoff SOMIFA victories before this year. Now he's got 3, and he'd love to get one more. I'll tell you that much. Brian Hoyer, 23 of 26, 163, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The longest completion of 15 yards as he was moving the ball with the flat pass. Congratulations to both these guys. This was a great game. Tremendous game. Really great game. Well coached by both sides. How you like that? Nathan, listen, I don't know, Nathan. I don't know if you want to be the favorites. Maybe you want to tell Ron you'll travel to Green Bay for the game. The home teams just keep losing. 19-13 Vikings are in the Super Bowl, where they will face the winner of Green Bay, Atlanta. We'll have that for you Sunday morning. I think it is 10 a.m. Central. But let's check the forum to find out. And we have our first SOMIFA Super Bowl participant of the year. Dale Ripley, his first appearance at the big game. First time winning postseason games. And I thought he was crazy to make moves for the year. Who's crazy now? He's in the Super Bowl. Congratulations to Dale. Tremendous job. Tremendous season so far. Tremendous season, period. But I'm just saying, we know he's got one more game to play. And you know he'd love to win that. And no worries, Dale. Early about a potential crash. I got back in there, only missed a couple of plays. And that's it. We wrap this one up. All right, folks. This is Tom signing off a crisp 92-minute game. A great game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're, if you weren't able to watch it live, or it's only a couple you were, that you get to watch the whole thing. And I'll see you on Sunday morning for Green Bay at Atlanta to see who will join the Vikings in the Super Bowl as we get ready to crown a first-time SOMIFA champion. Dale Ripley, Nathan Baylor, Ron Dickinson. None of those men have won a SOMIFA title yet. One of them will win it this year. And I'll be there to call it. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.